This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
What's going on, freaks? What the hell is going on? Yes, another busy day out there. Another epic fail on the early show. As apparently it matters how interesting, exciting a trial is. So we have to find some. I mean, it sort of is a microcosm of YouTube in general. You have to be. There has to be really like sensationalistic or something, or people just don't give a shit. It's the McStay family. It's actually pretty interesting. You had Chase Merritt, who killed 4 family members with a sledgehammer, and it's pretty cool and interesting how they put it all together. But a little bit frustrating. To be honest with you. I mean, literally like 28 people were watching at one point, if you can believe that. Then also today I went out to the another one of the possible serial killer locations, Ashley Real, her location. So it was weird. I came in from the west on, that's what, it was just totally turned around backwards, so I didn't know where I was, but it turns out, let me show you. So when you look at this map right here, I didn't come in from this way. Well, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, I came in from this direction. Okay, now this is the Ashley Real. That's the last one. I'm gonna have to go back out there again because I spoke to an individual named well, shit, I don't know what his name was. I'm just reading the comment. I spoke to a person right around, let's see, where was that? That's right, I came in this direction. I think it was right here. I drove and was right, yeah, exactly. I parked right there, and I was going to fly my drone, but guess what? I forgot the controller, and that's probably pretty good because I don't think I was in the right place. And then there's a guy walking from this direction, right around right here, and I said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And I asked him. He didn't say. He said, "I don't really know." And then I said, "Well, do you remember where the police vehicles were parked that day?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, they were down there about a quarter of a mile on the right-hand side of the road." So you go down here, and then he said it looked like it was right across from where there is a little access to some quarry ponds. And man, didn't that sound exactly like what we were talking about? So, because remember the person went out there to go fishing. So if you go down this direction, here I'll just go up quicker from the air. There's a spot that I pulled into. So 2900 is right there. I mean, it could actually be that's exactly what they're talking about. Like right at 2900 where the ponds are. Because right here, we actually drove, me and my stepson, we drove, let's see, right down this little gravel road and went right to that gate there. And I think that this person, wow, that's interesting right there. I didn't even see that. So that's just a little place that you can park. So this person may have parked right here that went there. The the person that was fishing maybe parked right there and then walk through these woods here. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all if that's what happened, that he walked through these woods because he had to go through these woods to get to this pond to go fishing and didn't want to go on the private property over here because you'd have to jump over the fence. So he would have parked right there, and look at it, it's right at the 2900 mark there. And then maybe parked there when it was dark outside. You could see lights coming in either direction. And also, if you look right there, there's a car parked on the side of the road. Maybe that's somebody else that was fishing right there. So, well, that's maybe mailbox, or maybe it looked more like a car though from the top, didn't it? I mean, or it looked like maybe that's actually a mail truck at that point. Too big to be those mailboxes we just saw. So, I think that's where the person went through and found her body right there. And again, it's so similar, isn't it, you guys, to the other spots that we've seen recently. You know, just on a random road, and then a body dumped off to the side somewhere in there. All right, so there you go. It's pretty crazy, though, you guys. Starting to me, it just can't be coincidental. Yeah, 5. I think they've ruled out the one indigenous woman that was, and I thought that was the one outlier too, because it looked like she just died in a homeless camp from drugs or something. All right. So, anyways, for those of you that are following that case, there you go. Mm-hmm. All right, so as you can see, everybody, at the bottom of the screen, we have the stream goal. Caligal3 sent in a super chat prior to the show starting. But if you guys would like to help support the channel, that allows me to keep doing these shows. Really poor showing on the earlier shows, so, you know, we need to have a good night again on here to keep rolling. Misty Gillis just called me. Or I talked to her after she texted me. I was driving. And she said that the organization, that case that we just picked up where we're identifying, there's an individual that they don't know if it's a man or a woman because the clothing is women's clothing, but the bones say otherwise. So maybe it was and this is from 1970 something. All right. So it could be transvestite. I mean, I think transvestites are pretty much what transgenders are today, wouldn't you? Don't you kind of think? So I think that might be what that is. But they were going to check out the show. So if you're out there, hello. Yep, that's what we do. We actually make a difference on this channel by helping support various charities, and especially our DNA fund that we are currently funding, I think, 12 cases. We've already finished many of those, but we, you know how there's channels out there that, yay, yeah, I'm so exciting and everything, but we actually make a difference. Okay, that's the difference between us and so many. Got my power back. All right. Yeah. Anyways, hey, thank you very much, Teresa Murray. Well, geez, Bama Forever. Thank you. And, thank you very much. I mean, that makes a huge difference. Absolutely amazing. Thanks. Do I even have the... Oh, there it is. It's on. Look at that. Thank you.
Let's have a great night, _basic generous.
Yeah, very cool. And thank you, Katja T. She said, let's have a great night, freak. All right. Well, that's a great start right there, I'll tell you that. So it looks like right now the time is running out on the 5 people inside the Titan submersible that went, I guess, missing, for lack of a better term. You know what I was thinking about? Why don't they it went missing on Sunday, and they only had 56 hours of oxygen, apparently. And that oxygen would run out tomorrow morning, their time, I think at like 6 in the morning, right? Is that right? No, 96 hours, that's right. There was only 50-something left when, a couple days, like I think when I was reading about it. Yeah, that's right. So it was 4 days worth of oxygen. Yeah, that's just, man. So here's what I was thinking about. You know how they have, like, fishing line? Why don't you just attach I don't know, some sort of a wire that's really thin that you can put on a spool that's 13,000 feet long, and you just have it attached to it. You know, and if something happens to it, it's still attached. And at least you can then guide something down to it. Like, let it swim freely and everything. But you've got this little wire, it's really thin, it's only there in an emergency where it's like, okay, we do have it. Then you can go right down to the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the ocean is too crazy to have these sort of autonomous vehicles down there at this point. Yeah, I wouldn't say like, yeah, I mean, a tether, you know, if you wanted to be able to lift it back out, you'd have to have some ridiculous sort of, you know, really thick wire to be able to pull it out. But why not just have some little thing like even what do you call it? This new threaded fishing line. You can make it 100 pounds even. It doesn't even matter. It just follows down so that it's something that you don't lose contact with it. So you could actually use that to send something down on a line, and it travels down, and now you know exactly where it is. Something like that, something really simple. Doesn't have to be something that can pull the weight of it. It's just that you won't lose where it is because you've got this, you know, maybe make it a 200-pound woven line or something like that. For fishing, they have that new line. I can't remember what they call it. Braided is what it is. So they have the braided fishing line. It's really thin, but very strong. Like a 50-pound test looks like maybe what an 8-pound test looked like on the old sort of nylon string that we used to use. Yeah, you're not listening, random guy. You're not listening. You don't make it so it would just break. How come people don't really pay attention? Yeah, you throw something out there and their next comment is just so unrelated to what you just said. It's almost like their brain didn't work. It didn't function or fire correctly. Yeah, you just put it on there and let it have a free open spool where it just the ship or whatever you want to call it, the submersible can just travel however it wants to travel. It's just this little tether that's connected to it at all times, and there's no tension really put on it. All right, let's see. Yeah, see, I mean, I don't even know. I think at this point there's really very low odds of them being recovered alive, and even recovered at all, really. They don't even know where it is still. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
All smiling face with hearts.
Do you guys think that audio... Hey, thanks, Mona L. Do you guys think that audio that was released is real, by the way? I mean, where is it coming from? I do have the audio, but all these people are playing the audio, and it's just like one guy got it and then shared it with the other one, and everybody sharing it. And then it's like, is it real, or... Yeah. I mean, I could play it, so you could hear what they're claiming to be real. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good one there, Nikki Vapes. Unfortunately, none of your next comments will ever show up on the stream. It's weird. Yeah. So, good luck. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have wave sounds in it. That's just other sound in there. Okay, so I'll play it, but I think it's like we don't know what it is. Okay, so let's take this with like a bucket of salt here. if it opens. Hold on. See, that's like that sonar sound. And the so that's just kind of, that's the sound you get when you apply like audio filters and stuff. Thanks. Thanks, Lisa Murphy. I mean, well, the thing is, it's also a buoy, right? So the buoy's probably up there, and you know, maybe it does hear something like that on the surface. I don't know. To me, it sounds like just kind of like underwater sounds that you hear. Right. So is that even real? Is that even real at all? Who knows, right? Yeah. But I mean, if that is real, then that does sound like somebody trying to make a sound on the side of a craft. But doesn't it seem like, what are the odds that if it was real, it got released so quickly like that? I think it's very low odds that it's real. Yeah. But it could be. Now, it's too bad, Curly. It was pretty clear. It means you need to get some...
I heard the audio is not real.
You probably need a Q-tip and clear out your ear. I don't know if CNN reported it. Everybody's reporting that there was banging sounds heard, but we don't know if this is really the sound showing that, right? I haven't seen it on any major network. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I when I first heard it, it didn't sound very plausible. I mean, it sounds like somebody's making the sound, but I mean, you sort of ask yourself, with an investigation that's so secretive so far, how would that get out there? Huh? I don't even know what that means by that person. Uh-huh. I don't know what that even means, DB. Maybe you can write that again. Somebody deleted your comment. Maybe write that again. I'm just saying, my idea is you have a free spooling line where there's no tension, but it's able to travel with the vehicle down, and then when you haven't heard anything for a while, you kind of reel it in and tighten it a little bit, and you know that it's attached. Or when you're ready to send other submersibles down to it, you then are able to have sort of this little tether thing that allows them to sort of slowly get down to it. At least it knows where the vehicle is. I don't think that's a shitty idea at all. You know, because underwater, it's really hard to communicate. Yeah, well, it has GPS, but it comes from the mothership, apparently, and then they send it down below, and then they move it, you know, that a text message or something gets sent from the mothership down using that technology we discussed yesterday. Yeah, maybe the banging isn't fake, but the audio file is what we're talking about, TTJ. The audio file that everybody's playing over and over and sharing like it is, you know, the second coming is what everybody keeps sharing, and I don't know if we have any evidence that that's true, but you heard it. I played it anyways. I just want you to realize that it could just be some idiot that put together an audio file and claimed it was real, and everybody's watching. No, it wouldn't, Rita. It wouldn't get tangled in the propeller, Rita. People have such simple minds. It's scary, almost, sometimes. It's weird, you know? It's weird stuff. Let's see. Put it on top of it as it's going down, and you just leave it there. It only pulls out line when itself wants it to. So make the line where it's being pulled out, is sort of like this zero, barely more than zero tension, where, like, you know, when you set the drag when you're fishing, the fish comes out and you're reeling the fish and it's pulling away, but you want to set the drag so it doesn't break your line. So you would set a drag on it so it moves with just slight pressure on it. And then at least you'll know where it is at all times. It'd be very simple to do. Yeah. Yeah, we're full of the trolls in here. We're full of trolls tonight. With their little passive aggressive comments. Great idea, Rita, boy, that was so fantastic. Yeah, let's see. Why is it like that every single night? You talk about a bigger case, the trolls show up. Yeah, but I'm not sure how it sends the signal back up to the surface. I think sharks come up to the surface often, and then a signal is received. But I guess they do track it underwater, but I think they put the... That's right, when they're tracking the sharks, they actually put something in the water and track it, right? They hear the signals. Yeah, but that was yesterday, Marta. The banging every 30 minutes. We read that yesterday. Okay. So, by the way, we're going to do open lines tonight, so you can call in on that number up there. And, you dial, it's West Coast, Central, East Coast, and then meeting ID and passcode. All right? Pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple. And if you can't do it, you probably shouldn't be calling. You know what I mean? People are like nuts, putting a tether that's very lightweight, maybe make it just like 200, maybe make it like 200 or 300 pound braided line with like a drag system that it only moves out when there's some pressure coming in. And if something happens out down there, then you would have to, you would have a connection to it. And you would even be able to tell if it's still moving down because it's pulling line out. But then on the way up, everything's probably good at that point. So then there might be contact. Or maybe you set it where there's always slightly pressure. So when it loses pressure, it starts reeling a little bit. Okay, so it's always taut, but never like really tight where there's a whole bunch of pressure. Does that make sense? I think that'd be amazing. It'd be really simple to do. But I mean, that's something later. So you just have some tension. When it loses tension, it reels to make it tight. It always wants to maintain within like a 10 or 15 pound pressure, or something like that. I think it would work. And then when a catastrophe happens, there'd be a way to get something down to it. But, I mean, that's after the fact. So anyways, you guys want to hear, there was a press conference today. We can do that. Here we go. I think I have it. Yeah, these guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Jamie Frederick with the 1st Coast Guard District, and I'll provide an update on our ongoing search efforts for the Titan submarine. Behind me,
unfortunately, the audio is it's got that loud sound, so you just have to pay attention. Thank you, peace of me forever. Wow, Bama forever and peace of me forever. That's pretty amazing.
Beside me, I should say, you'll see several subject matter experts from the Unified Command who will introduce themselves momentarily. These individuals represent only a small fraction of the many dedicated professionals working around the clock on this complex response effort. We understand this is an extremely difficult time for the families of the missing crew members aboard the Titan, and our thoughts go out to them and the crew. The Unified Command team is working tirelessly to bring all available assets and expertise to bear as quickly as possible in response to this complex operation. We remain in close contact with the family members and the crew to ensure they are fully aware of our current and future search efforts. Additionally, we have been in close contact with the British and French Consulates General to ensure that they are fully appraised of our efforts, and we are ensuring that their concerns are being addressed. We're incredibly grateful for the full spectrum of international assistance that has been provided, including an expert submariner from the Royal Navy, here with us serving aboard as a critical member of our team. Additionally, a team of highly trained French ROV operators departed St. John's last night are en route to aid the search. Moreover, our Canadian partners have been providing critical leadership and significant response capabilities since the beginning of our efforts. Again, this is an incredibly complex...
One of whose sons? What are you talking about? Is it true one of their sons was partying at a Cardi B concert? When?
Search operation requiring both surface and subsurface elements, and our unified approach is critical. The location of the search, 900 miles east of Cape Cod and 400 miles southeast of St. John's, makes it exceptionally difficult to mobilize large amounts of equipment quickly. In spite of those challenges, we've been able to provide continuous air and surface.
Can I ask you this though? Let me ask you something, you guys. Who cares about, I mean, so right here it says, I think it was the stepson, it was Blink 182. Who the hell is looking up this shit? You know what I mean? Like, why does it even matter? Why does it matter that somebody's at the, you know, like, why are people looking into who's at the Blink 182 concert and what their kids are doing and, you know, all that kind of stuff? You know, it turns it into a conspiracy theory. That's what people are looking at. Maybe the kid didn't like his dad, you know, if he was partying while his dad is missing. Maybe he doesn't like him. But then what are we, let's say, what nefarious angle would there be for the son that's dancing at a Blink 182 concert? So what nefarious reason could he be there? You know, he put something in his dad's bag and then he went on the boat, or what? Is that what we're trying to do? No, but what was the nefarious like, what would he have actually done? Travis Barker, he's such an awesome drummer, man. He's just... But no, seriously, what do you imply? What is being implied, I guess, is what I'm asking. So he's having a good time. What relationship does that have to do with what's going on in the boat? So then we're going to go down a wild... that's why I don't like those kind of questions. I understand why people like to know those things and answer those. Yeah, it is. It sounds like it's inappropriate, Danielle, but it doesn't have any impact on what's going on here. Okay, now unless you're implying that the stepkid, you know, put something in his stepdad's, you know, carry-on bag and it somehow disrupted the whole thing, then it means nothing. Okay, I just stuff like that to me almost never, unless it's like a murder case and there's other things pointing at something. This is something totally different. I think there's only maybe 5 or 6, 7 hours left, maybe. I guess. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 7, if that is even. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, right, Daniel? I mean, it's like, you know, it's more of the sensationalistic type of information. You can always find that somewhere else. I don't even report on that kind of stuff. Like if somebody said, "Oh God, one of the kids was," yeah, I might say that if it was a murder case. In, you know, like in a city and the son's out partying and stuff and they haven't made an arrest, then it might mean something. This is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, down at the Titanic wreck, so it makes it a little bit, it's hard to find an association there.
Search assets as well as additional ROV capability search below the surface. We currently have 5 surface assets searching for the Titan. We expect 10 total surface assets to search in the next 24 to 48 hours. There are 2 ROVs actively searching, and several more are en route and will arrive by tomorrow morning. We've received incredible support with aviation assets from our Coast Guard Air Station in Elizabeth City.
Hey, by the way, can we hit that like button, please? Thank you.
The Air National Guard, and Canadian Armed Forces. Today there are 2 back-to-back P3 flights. One is ongoing now as I speak.
Yeah, I saw that link. You probably didn't want people looking at it.
Totaling 14 hours of continuous on-scene coverage, and 2 C-130 flights, also one ongoing now, throughout the day and into the evening. Yesterday, the Canadian P3 detected underwater noises in the search area. As a result, ROV operations were relocated in an attempt. Yesterday, the Canadian P3 detected underwater noises in the search area. As a result, ROV operations...
So that one, now we know for certain that that was a real thing.
Operations were relocated in an attempt to explore the origin of the noises. Although the ROV searches have yielded negative results, they continue. Additionally, the data from the P3 aircraft has been shared with our U.S. Navy experts for further analysis, which will be considered in future search plans. The surface search is now approximately 2 times the size of Connecticut, and the subsurface search is up to 2.5 miles deep.
I will say that I was totally wrong about the not being sealed in. I think that's ludicrous, but apparently the only way these people can get out of the submersible is by somebody on the surface. Once it's got to the surface, somebody has to unscrew them, like unbolt the hatch, and then they come out. So that means even if they had come to the surface, they could still have suffocated, unless they had a gun or something inside where they could blow the front windshield out, and then now the water rushes in and you're in the ocean. Don't you think that's ridiculous? Shouldn't the captain be able to have an override of some sort where, you know, nobody else can do it, but there's one way to do it and only he can? So even if they had made it all the way to the surface, they still would suffocate in there. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, don't you think that's crazy? And by the way, they were piloting this submersible with a $29 control, like I think it's I actually use their products like Logitech or some shit. Mouse, you know, I have a mouse. They were using, you know, basically looks kind of like this thing. You know, this is a game controller here. See that? You know, something like that. Wouldn't you have gone out and had somebody make you something that kind of, it's your own thing? It makes it seem so ludicrous to me that they're, you know, like sitting in this machine where they're getting $1 million and they're using a $29 little stupid joystick thing. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Exponentially expanding the size of the search area. We also have to factor in the ever-changing weather conditions, currents, and sea states that expand the search area every hour. There's an enormous complexity associated with this case due to the location being so far offshore, and the coordination between multiple agencies and nations. We greatly appreciate the outpouring of support and offers to provide additional equipment. The Unified Command continues to prioritize assets and resources in order to provide the best capability in the most timely manner. This includes weighing multiple factors to identify the most effective resources available to the response operation. With careful consideration to timeliness of equipment arriving on scene, usefulness and ability to deliver assets to the search area. Over the past 48 hours, we have, through incredible unity of effort, mobilized and implemented a tremendous amount of expertise and response capability. In addition to the ships and aircraft previously mentioned, we've dispatched 2 subject matter experts from U.S. Navy NAVSEA Subsalv, who will serve as search coordinators on scene for underwater search operations. So I've been stressing unity of effort a lot in this statement.
Hey, by the way, everybody, for those of you who are here, you look at the name of the channel and you can see it in there. My name is actually Gray, okay? Now, trolls call me Gary and Greg. You know, it's kind of funny. It doesn't really bother me that much. Except when, you know, they're doing it intentionally to be a troll, right? But my name is Gray, like the color. G-R-A-Y, not G-A-R-Y, although my diploma from college said Gary on it.
Let alone sending it to the bottom of the ocean. Great show, Gray.
Horrifying thinking about it. I get claustrophobic thinking about it. You could not pay me enough to get into that thing, let alone sending it to the bottom of the ocean. Right, there's no way in hell I would ever get on something like that. Maybe in 1,000 years when it's just so mundane, like flying. But the ocean's different than flying. You know, the pressure's involved. They do have pressure flying, but it's totally different, much more manageable. Let's see. Yeah, so my name is Gray, G-R-A-Y. My diploma from college said Gary on it. Except I did a U-turn at the end of when I was walking off the stage, I did a U-turn and said, hey, you know, what's going on? And I was like, I wonder what they thought in their minds. Man, we just graduated somebody who can't even spell his name right. So let's go ahead and put Gary on that on that thing for him, on his diploma, because he can't spell his own name. Right? And then for years, they kept sending me these letters to try to get donations. Hey, Gary, would you mind helping out the university here? We'd really... And one time I ran into this guy that's what he does for that same university. And I go, listen, I'll tell you what, I'll send you something if you can spell my damn name right. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. True story. True story. All right. And by the way, like there's people that aren't here and they're wondering, you know, the whole, where we have the stream goal and the super freak area over there. This channel, you know, the freaks all support the channel by sending in super chats and whatnot every single night. And then I take from the income from the channel and donate over 50% of the net revenue to various charities out there, including the DNA fund that we have. Okay? So that's what, if you're kind of wondering what's going on with that, that's what it's for. Okay?
I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
And that right there, this Chewbacca sound that you're listening to, if you're wondering, is a crazy story on itself. That guy named Cairo that came in last night, he goes into outside, he was traveling around the country, he does cell tower stuff. He exits the doors to go smoke a cigarette, and this lady on the ground, a sex worker, said, and then he goes, Chewbacca? And then she said, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be. So now that you know the story, listen to how that really sounds. Listen to this. He goes outside.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Okay, come on. You gotta admit, like, that's pretty freaking funny. So that's why we had to have that one.
And that's because it is absolutely critical to this complex operation. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the crew of the Titan and their loved ones. We will continue to work.
Oh, and by the way, thank you. I'll rewind it a little bit here. Thank you, the Velvet Army and Lady Latuka and Mark Willis. Thank you. I'll rewind it a minute or two here.
We've dispatched 2 subject matter experts from U.S. Navy NAVSEA Subsalv who will serve as search coordinators on scene for underwater search operations. So I've been stressing unity of effort a lot in this statement, and that's because it is absolutely critical to this complex operation. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the crew of the Titan and their loved ones. We will continue to work as hard and as quickly as possible in an effort to locate them. I will take a few questions, but before I do that, I do want, I'm going to have each of the members, the team here, just introduce themselves, and then I'll go ahead and take some questions.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Hankins. I'm the Director for Salvage Operations with the U.S. Navy Supervisor of Stockholm.
Hello, I'm Carl Hartsfield from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Commander Rich Catharia. I'm an exchange officer currently serving on the staff of Command Submarine.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Commander Christy Butler, working closely with Captain Frederick from RCC Boston, Search and Rescue Mission Coordinator. Thank you.
Captain, what more can you tell us about the noises that were heard? Can you give us any more detail? And just to follow up, from what you've gathered so far, based on those noises, should that give the families and the others who care for these people, should that give them some reason to hope?
So a couple things. One, I think when you're in the middle of a search and rescue case, you always have hope. That's why we're doing what we do. With respect to the noises specifically, we don't know what they are, to be frank with you. The P3 detected noises. That's why they're up there. That's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they put sonar buoys in the water. The good news is, what I can tell you is we're searching in the area where the noises were detected, and we'll continue to do so. And we hope that when we're able to get additional ROVs, which will be there in the morning, the intent will be to continue to search in those areas where the noises were detected, and if they're continuing to be detected, and then put additional ROVs down in the last known position where the search was originally taking place.
Captain,
the noise is still being detected, Captain.
Regular 30-minute intervals as reported.
I hadn't heard 30-minute intervals. So here's what I can tell you. I am not a trained ear for underwater aquatics. That's why we have a team of experts that are analyzing that data. That data was sent immediately to the Navy last night, and it was analyzed overnight. They're still looking at it, but I can tell you that it's inconclusive. But again, I think the important piece is we're searching in the area where the noises were detected.
Can you talk about the timeline? Can you talk about what timeline you're working on in conjunction with the teams that are there?
It's a timeline of what we're spending.
How much oxygen do they have left on board?
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of, so we talked about the oxygen number. I think you're all tracking the oxygen number. I think there's an important point with that, though. The oxygen, that's just one piece of data, right? There are a lot of pieces of data that we need to consider. And we're continuously looking at that, and we'll continuously do that throughout the search. But that's not the only thing that's important, right? And right now, our efforts are solely focused on search. That certainly is a dialogue that's happening, but we're focused on search.
And this is a recovery or a rescue?
Oh, this is a search and rescue mission, 100%. We are smack dab in the middle of search and rescue, and we'll continue to put every available asset that we have in an effort to find the Titan and the crew members.
How down are those ROVs, and can you confirm that some sort of rectangular object has been spotted? There was some sort of report about that other night.
So, well, a couple things. So the ROVs, each ROV brings different capability. The ROVs that are diving today, what's the depth limit? 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 meters. And some additional ROVs that'll be arriving tomorrow have additional depth capability. With respect to an object, so yesterday one of the aircraft did see an object. I will tell you this: in search and rescue missions, when aircraft are flying continuously, there is stuff out in the ocean that's floating.
Wow, is that a... Hey, Mark, is that a smallmouth bass there? What? That must look like it weighs like 7 or 8 pounds. That's crazy.
We went back, we looked at it. It wasn't. We didn't determine it to be debris. We don't think it correlates with the case, and it is not uncommon at all during an active search to see things, and then we go and look at them.
So, Captain, Jess Clark from BBC News. When were these noises first heard? How long did they persist for? And if I could also ask, do you have any information in terms of food and water that the men might have on board the Sun?
Yeah, so several P3 flights have heard the noises as yesterday, and we put assets there. We relocated assets immediately. With respect to food and water, it's my understanding there are some limited rations. I can't tell you exactly how much they have aboard, but they do have some limited rations aboard.
Captain, speaking to the families, how much hope can you give them after hearing those noises?
Listen, I think you need to be careful.
Yeah, that whatever that reporter was says after hearing those voices. Did they hear voices? I mean, let me rewind that again. Maybe he's about ready to scold him for saying that. Let's see.
Speaking to the families, how much hope can you give them after hearing those noises?
Listen, I think you need to be careful.
Oh, maybe he said noises, actually.
We need to have hope, right? But I can't tell you what the noises are. But what I can tell you is, and I think this is the most important point, we're searching where the noises are, and that's all we can do with this.
So is that your best clue right now about the status of the submersible or those noises? And are the noises continuing now? Have they stopped or are they continuing?
So I just wanted to, so it was my understanding that the P3 had heard some noises today as well. But so I do want to take just an opportunity to invite Carl to the podium just to talk a little bit about, he has a little bit more expertise in underwater acoustics, maybe just to speak to that in general, because again, there are noises below the surface of the ocean. So I'll just turn it to
Carl, spell your name. So again, Carl Hartsfield from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. So the ocean is a very complex place. Obviously, human sounds, nature sounds, and it's very difficult to discern what the source of those noises are at times, but I can tell you that this team has multiple sensors. They're in the area. They're sending data back expeditiously to the best in the world people to analyze that data, and then they're feeding the results of that analysis back to the unified team, and they're making decisions. So Woods Hole is here in an advisory role, but by our expertise, what I see is a very tight operational loop that's making decisions based on data, and nothing is ruled out.
Are the noises continuing? He said he heard the noises this morning. Are they still continuing on a regular basis now?
There have been multiple reports of noises, and every one of those noises is being analyzed, tracked, looked for patterns, and reported.
Can you describe what the noise sounds like that they're hearing?
Well, the noises, again, very complex in the ocean. You have to be an acoustic analysis, and you have to have context. They're trying to put all the pieces together. The noises have been described as banging noises. But again, they have to put the whole picture together in context, and they have to eliminate potential man-made sources other than the Titan.
Is it possible that a ship in the ocean, is it possible a ship in the ocean, or even some mammals out there, could mimic that kind of sound?
So I can tell you from my experience with acoustics that there are sounds by biologics that sound man-made to the untrained ear, but I can assure you that the people listening to these tapes are trained. There are a lot of vessels in the area, and they each make noise, right? So all of that has to be eliminated, and it's analysis over time. Plus, as the captain said, the team is searching in the right area. So if you continue to do the analysis, look for different patterns, and search in the right area, you're doing the best you possibly can do with the best people on the case.
Apparently there was a deep ocean salvage system, that flyway that was sent there to the location. Can you tell if it's on site yet, and how it operates, and how long it would take to rescue it? Would that take?
Which system?
This flyaway?
The system. What's the system that you're talking about?
It's called the Flyway Deep Ocean Salvage System.
That's just the hydraulic.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So that's a piece of equipment, it's a crane piece of equipment. There are a lot of pieces of equipment flowing in through St. John's right now. One thing I did want to mention, I think it's important, some of the ROV capability that's arriving soon is really great, incredible capability. One thing I want to point out is that French team that's coming in to serve aboard with their equipment aboard a French ship. They bring some state-of-the-art equipment, and so once they get on, we're going to have more assets down to look, and we'll continue to put them where we think the best location is.
Considering how many days passed, are you still optimistic that you're gonna find them?
So, how many days? Suggest how many days?
Considering how many days passed?
Well, so we have to remain optimistic and hopeful when you're in a search and rescue case. So we're right in the middle of the search and rescue case. So I don't want to get into a discussion about when that would end with respect to this case. What I will tell you, though, I'm happy to explain to you kind of how that process would work. The Coast Guard prosecutes search and rescue cases on a daily basis, and sometimes we don't find what we're looking for, and you have to carefully consider all of the factors, and there are a lot of factors you consider. And then after you consider all of those factors, sometimes you're in a position where you have to make a tough decision. We're not there yet. But if we continue to search, potentially we could be at that point. But again, we're not there yet. And that's a discussion that we will have with the family long before I'm going to discuss that here publicly.
What's the likelihood that they can survive beyond tomorrow morning when the oxygen is expected to come out?
Yeah, so I can't put a number on the light. You know, I'm not going to put a percent. I don't have a percentage number. What I would tell you is that is just one data point, and there are more data points than that we have to look at. So right now we continue to search.
Captain, if I could, sorry, thank you, Captain, if I could. Who heard the noises, and how often did they hear the noises? Can you just give us any more specifics? Did they hear them this morning? Were they at 30-minute intervals? Just give us some more specifics about the noises.
The report.
And who described them as banging? Sorry, because this gentleman said banging.
The noises were heard by a Canadian P3, and that was this morning and some yesterday. I don't know specifically are there 30-minute intervals, but again, I really think the important point to that is we're in the air, we're searching there. We moved assets and we're searching there, and we'll continue to do so.
What does the surface, and I don't know if you mentioned this yet, but is the vessel itself, what's the likelihood that it's actually still operable at this hour, the vessel itself?
Yeah, I don't, whether it's operable or whether it's sitting on the ocean floor, whether it's in the sea column or whether it's on the surface, it's all speculation, and we're just not in the business of speculation. We're in the business of searching, and we're putting everything we can with the data we have to search for the vessel. And I think
does the banging suggest
a bit more about the role of the Navy and the assistance being provided as well as the equipment?
Yeah, so we asked for some additional subsurface support, and we got that through the Navy. Through a liaison officer. He's just one of many team members, and we're greatly appreciative of the British government and all the support they give us.
So we expect a daily update now on this?
So I think the plan will be to do a daily like this. I'm not going to lock into that right now, but we'll keep you informed, and certainly if there's any major developments, we'll let you know. Thank you.
There you go. That's it. Have a nice evening. Just kidding. I got some articles here to go over, but let's see. The phone lines are open, you guys. So if you want to call in with your thoughts, just feel free to. I got to put the numbers back on the screen, but there you go. You dial the number of your West Coast, Central, East Coast, and then meeting ID and passcode. All right. So you're definitely welcome to call in. Give your thoughts on what you think is going on here. I think it's kind of becoming pretty clear that it's a What are you talking about, KK? I don't get it. I think they've only got, like, as I said a while ago, maybe 6 or 7 hours left. If that, that was just sort of the outer reaches. You got 4-5 adults in here, and all males, and I'm sure they're breathing. I think the oxygen is likely not even left in there. I know it sounds shitty, but. Okay. Yep. So here is an article that was out there in the Daily Mail. British survivor of Pisces III submarine that sank 1,500 feet off the coast of Ireland 50 years ago describes what it's like being trapped underwater and says he has horrible feeling that something might be seriously wrong on missing Titanic sub. Well, that doesn't take, I mean, it's obvious something horribly went wrong. A British engineer who survived after his submarine sank 1,500 feet. Wow, hey, thank you so much, Mag. Yeah, that was so kind. Thank you. Boom. Thank you. I can't imagine a worse way to go, really. Same as the miners that are trapped.
Late but listening. Hi, Gray and Freaks.
Thank you. Good to see you. No, it's not like Kanika Jenkins at all. Yeah. Kanika Jenkins was highly intoxicated and laid down and peacefully kind of went to sleep. Yeah, this is one where you have hours and hours and hours to think about it, and you're not going to make it out. So, a British engineer who survived after his submarine sank 1,500 feet off the coast of Ireland 50 years ago has a horrible feeling that something might be seriously wrong on the missing Titanic tourist submersible. Roger Mallinson, who was burying a telephone cable in the Celtic Sea, escaped with his colleague Roger Chapman, described the case of the missing Titan sea vessel as horrendous, as he reflected on his own nightmare experience in 1973. The missing Ocean Gate submersible has drawn parallels to the sunken Pisces III submarine, whose occupants were saved after an incredible 80-hour rescue operation that saw them lifted to safety with just 12 minutes of oxygen left. Wow, that's nuts. Well, let's get on it. They don't know where they are, though. That's the difference. I bet you they had no problem locating this submarine at 1,500 feet. You're talking about almost 10 times that distance. The now 85-year-old Sky News told Sky News, "I can't understand why they haven't transmitted some signal of some sort. I have a horrible feeling that something might be seriously wrong, that they aren't able to transmit a signal." Is this him right here?
What do you think of what's happened now in the Atlantic? That's 12,000 feet, 4,000 meters. What do you think of what's happening?
That is horrendous. I can't understand why they haven't transmitted some signal of some sort. I have a horrible feeling that something might be seriously wrong, that they aren't able to transmit a signal. But I would have thought a hammer on a bit of the hull somewhere would be a good transmitter.
Hmm.
The Toro summer sales.
Ah, Jesus, really? I think this. Oh man, I think this guy right here is probably. He doesn't even look like he's even enjoying that drink whatsoever. He looks like he's just contemplating what he just went through there. Yeah, let's check it out. Hold on a second. Roger Mallinson, 1973, Ireland, right? How about get rid of that? All right. Yeah, there's some right. Rescuers race against time to save trapped submarines. 2 Britons trapped in a midget submarine at the bottom of the Atlantic lapsed into a delirious state today and may suffocate, a rescue vessel reported. The 2 men had appeared on the verge of rescue. A rescue submarine groped its way through the murky depths of the ocean earlier today to find the mini submarine Pisces III and attach a lifeline guided by the sound of the men singing sea chanties at the top of their lungs. That's crazy. Pisces III and attached a lifeline guided by the sound. See, there you go. See, what if they just had the like that little tether that's just always have to, it's automated tension of like a 200-pound little tiny thin braided cable that follows the ship down, and it's attached to the middle of it, and it goes down. And then, like, people were concerned about the propeller, just have the propeller covered in a way where it can't have something like that. But it wouldn't be that way because it always has to have tension, is my idea. Let's see. Cork Harbor officials said the John Cabot, one of the vessels involved in the attempt to rescue Roger Mallinson and Roger Chapman, entombed in their tiny submarine off the Irish coast, flashed the following message. Both men trapped in a small sphere, high temperature, both delirious, risk of CO2 poisoning and oxygen starvation. The men had less than 24 hours of air left. He said one rescue sub located the stricken craft and attached a guideline to it. A second rescue sub, repaired after earlier damage, was on the way down with a heavy 10-inch lifting line. Pisces III, a 19-foot white submersible tank Wednesday in a 1,375 feet of water off the Irish coast with Britain's Roger Mallinson and Roger Chapman, 28, aboard. Today was Mallinson's 35th birthday. The report said Pisces V, a more sophisticated version of the two-man Pisces III submarine, which sank Wednesday, located the crippled vessel at mid-morning. The two men aboard the sunken Pisces III, Britain's Roger Mallinson, 34, and Roger Chapman, 28, were in good shape and spirits, a Vickers spokesman said. The radio message heard on the Cork Rescue Center was terse, saying the Pisces V located the sunken sub and put a hook on her. The Vickers spokesman said winds were moderating and conditions, so anyways, the men, Roger Mallinson, 34, and Roger Chapman, 28, had only enough air to last until 10:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday. He said a rescue ship, the Vickers Voyeur, reached the spot about 150 miles southeast of Cork and 94 miles from the nearest shore point, where the men are trapped early today, and began immediate rescue operations. So, I mean, in that case, there was, they got it. August, what's this one say? Oh, there's that picture that we just saw right there, right? Home to their wives after seabed miracle. Seabed? Seabed, oh my god. Jubilant mini-sub crewman Roger Mallinson and Roger Chapman flew in last night to a joyful reunion with their wives hours after being snatched from the ocean bed. That's crazy. So hopefully there's something of a similar miracle happens. Let's see that.
Can you tell us how you feel, Peter?
Very well, thank you. Fine. It's the happy ending Hollywood directors normally dream of. Two men who tasted dry land after 4 days stranded on the seabed. But for 40 years, their story sank almost without a trace. As the men struggled for breath, rescuers struggled to reach them. It took 3 days to attach a line to lift them out. Even then, they feared the sudden motion could kill them.
And they were convinced we wouldn't survive.
They were the rescue crews working 500 metres above them after their submarine had plummeted to the bottom of the Atlantic, with time and air running out.
Would have chosen to have been left on the bottom before the
Definitely.
lift.
we
before
would
you
have said,
go through
forget that.
Yeah.
And finally, it popped.
The rush of oxygen was welcome inside. They'd been down to their last 20 minutes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Cut.
Oh, wow, I got some people here. Okay. 856, you're on.
Hey, Gray, how are you?
Pretty good. I just looked over and there's like 8 people waiting. So we got to zip through these things. I didn't
Well, I
even see
jumped
that.
on that little wave
Oh, well, thank you.
early on. Yeah. So, you know, Gray, this is sad. My hopes are really dwindling because, you know, time is definitely not on their side. And, you know, you have, they're dealing with, I'm sure by now, hypothermia, carbon monoxide, because, you know, if they're in the pitch black down there, I hope they thought maybe to take some kind of flashlight. But, you know, it's looking pretty grim because so many things could go wrong. They were an hour and, 45 minutes into their dive, and it took them so long, the mothership, to even contact them. It was like almost 8 hours or 8 hours, and I mean, without hearing from them, they lost communication before. But, you know,
Well, it sounds like it was
anytime you-
hour and 45 minutes they lost communication, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Gray, this is something with this, because it wasn't up to all the safety standards. We know that. The man that built it said that. And so, I mean, for that to go down 13,000 feet or 12,000 feet, whatever, wherever the Titanic is lying that far down, you're taking a risk every time you go down there. And that's why everybody had to sign that waiver. But I mean, you know, you have people that love to do this kind of stuff if they have the money. And, geez, if it wasn't so far down, maybe I'd consider it, but I wouldn't dare go that far down. I mean, and that pressure, and think, if that thing wasn't up to standard, we don't know if some kind of catastrophic event happened. They could have been dead, and I hate to say that. I want to be
How long does it take to go? How
optimistic.
long does it take to get from the surface down to the wreck? 2 hours?
I think it's 2 hours.
So that
2
means
hours down.
So that means they're probably pretty close. Then.
Well, yeah, they were pretty close, but 2 hours down and 2 hours back up. And here's the thing: if and they haven't found them yet, if they find them, I mean, that thing is, like you were saying earlier in the show, why wouldn't they have a way to be able, if they did bob up, if something went wrong and they bob back up to, because they have 7 different ways of aborting, I think, their dive.
Right.
Well, they haven't been shown up yet.
Because they're dumb.
And I mean, why? Yeah, why would they have something to be able to open up so they could get air? I mean, they got to wait, I believe, for the mothership to meet them to open that thing.
Yeah,
I mean, you're locked in. You are locked in. So, you know, Gray, I don't know. They could have been gone, the poor souls, Sunday when this all went down. You know, they hear knocks. I don't know, a lot of things that I've read. It could be anything. I hope it would be them that they hear. But by the time everything comes there with, and they don't even know if they could pull it up because, you know, the pressure alone bringing that thing up, I don't even know if they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there was just a small leak, I heard if that sub hit one little minute thing in the water that put a pinhole, that thing could have flooded out by now already, and they would have. So I feel sorry for the family. I feel sorry for them. You got people saying, well, you know, they're rich, you know, they do this dumb stuff. Well, guess what? A lot of people pay to go up in a spacecraft, too. If we didn't have explorers like this, we wouldn't know a lot of things.
Well, here's
So
the
I
thing.
give them credit.
Here's the thing I think is weird is Why do people keep still going down to the Titanic? It's like we've already got enough videos. We've got. It's just sort of this weird. It's almost morbid, sort of like you want to go hang out.
Well, Gray, humans have a morbid sense of curiosity. We just do. I mean, I've been very fascinated. I mean, that thing sunk in 1912, the year my dad was born. I mean, I think because it was.
I know that people have. That's why people like the more sensationalistic true crime, because it's more like, ooh, I can think of all these crazy things. It's more entertaining. But for me, it's just weird. There's already so many videos down there. I don't know why a tourist. I could understand if an expert on the Titanic wants to go down just to kind of, feel it or be there. But just these random people, like you're going to the moon or something. It's just weird.
Well,
it's stupid.
Gray, this girl that went down there, she said she saved all her life to go down there.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank God she came back up. I think for that kind of money, I don't know, but I guess it is just their morbid curiosity. I don't know, just to see it. But I do watch a lot of things about it, and as a matter of fact, when Nancy and I were watching before this sub was missing, we were watching about the Titanic. For some reason, I guess because April was the anniversary, and then all of a sudden we saw the sub that was missing, and it was like, whoa. But the sad part about it, they can die from so many things. Right. I said, hypothermia. They're probably they told them not to eat a lot anyway because
they weren't supposed to eat, and they don't want people to go to the bathroom. Right. So there's a lot of things that is not in their favor, and just in my opinion, I don't think this is going to turn out well, because by the time they get to them and get them up, I hope I'm wrong. Oh, God, I hope I'm wrong. Because you have some very intelligent people on there. And, somebody said Haggish, the Explorer. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I got to get these other. I mean, if you're going to be reading the chat, but I got to get all these other ones. But the
get
last
them all. We all want to make our point. We all want to make our point. Yeah. But good talking to you, and hey, freaks, glad to be on. All right, I'll talk to you, Gray.
One last thing. How are you feeling these days?
Oh, I'm all right. I've had some things going on. That's why I haven't been on. But I'm all right. Well, I'm good.
Well, good. I hope to see you back here regularly again.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Okay.
There was some other things going on with family lost their husband and all that. So it's just that kind of stuff and all. So I'll be back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a freak.
That's right. You are a freak.
So yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Whoa. To you, all right?
All right. See you later. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya. Lillian. All right, 352, you're on. 352.
Hey, this is Austin. Hey, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Yeah, I was just thinking. So, I think everyone's guess, based on all the videos that I've listened to, is whenever they lost communication, that's definitely when something happened. And being that he made the thing out of carbon fiber, and a lot of like experts with materials think like over time, like, because this isn't the first dive, right? They've been doing it for a couple of years now, and every time they go down, that the carbon fiber would weaken, and I think this time it just finally gave way.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like a sudden thing, or they could. I mean, if they were making sounds down below, and they think they were making sounds, and then it couldn't have been total catastrophic, right? Because if they were underwater, if it was like something that went, like it gave way, it would just crush every single person down there. But if they were in a position where they could make sounds on the whole, it sounds like they think that they really were, based on that last press conference. Then it couldn't have been.
You really,
huh?
You really believe that though, like they're hearing sounds?
Well, yeah, no, I think they're hearing sounds. They know how to determine the difference. He said that.
Yeah.
I don't think the audio that's going around, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think if they are hearing sounds, then that means
Right.
it wasn't absolutely catastrophic, but it might have been something that created other issues where they had no power and, stuff like that, right? I mean, so who knows? I mean,
It's
that's
just wild.
It is pretty weird. Cause
Yeah, and that guy, what is his name? P.H. Snorgele. He's like the Titanic dive master. Like he's been down there 35 times, I think they said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something
That's
that. I mean, if you were going to come up with a conspiracy, you might say, he's the guy on that people would probably build a conspiracy on. He was so obsessed with being down there, and he just wanted to end. He's 70-something years old, and he wanted to. You know what I mean? Like that's where it would come from. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is just wild, and what's crazy is we don't really ever hear about it. Like I've looked up exploration and what it costs to go down there. A couple of years ago, just was curious. But then yeah, it's just wild because you wouldn't even really hear about it. It was never really talked about every mission, and it's this time it's obviously they're missing, so you're gonna hear about it. But
yes, it's definitely not it's not like one of those publicity stunts, because I don't think there's a soul that would take the next trip.
No.
Yeah.
But it's the guy bashed his safety though. I'm use it in the present tense, because he's still, there's still hope that they're alive. But the CEO Stockton Rush, how he bashed his safety, and he got that lawsuit by that guy that used to work for him. I think he talked about that last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but just all you have to do is say to yourself, he's using a Logitech joystick. It can't be the safest ship in the world if that's what you're using. He's probably using Elmer's glue on some of the inside. That's what it's feeling like.
There's a video on YouTube. I don't know if you've already seen or not on YouTube, but on Twitter, and it's basically a video of the University of Washington, Seattle, the Applied Physics Laboratory, when they were first testing the materials, and people are saying maybe that's the test that the safety guy that worked for Ocean Gate, that the test he was referring to, because they tested the material and it wasn't near as strong enough to, when it underwent the test, that they put it under, that it wasn't strong enough to,
right,
to make it down there and be super safe, because they're supposed to be 5 times, is so say you're going down 2,000 feet, they would test it to go down 5 times that 10,000 feet, just to be absolutely certain that it would
right.
make it.
He seemed like he was going at depths that it was barely even cleared to go at. I mean, actually, I think it was above the Titanic, right? It was 12,200 feet, and then Titanic's 12,500, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just all the issues they've had, and I think one of the expeditions they went in, and I'm sure you've talked about this as well, but that the thing was lost for a couple of hours. That's why they didn't call the Coast Guard right away.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just, I hope to God that they're alive, but you got the CEO making laughing about safety. It doesn't.
Yeah, it just feels. It just seems like a really kind of half-assed adventure deal, right? Just ridiculous. But
they got the people on board. If they're gonna make it, that guy's been down there 35 times. There's that guy that's got 2 of the world records, Guinness World Records for being underwater the longest. That Amish Harding. I mean, if they're gonna make it, they got the people on board. So.
Yeah.
But I'll chat with you later.
Yeah,
and,
well, thanks for calling in.
Thanks for covering this.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow, a guy calling in that wasn't a troll, man. What a miracle. Eight 859. That's you.
Hey,
Who's this?
can you hear me?
Oh, it's Scouting Dude. What's going on?
Not much. You put this thing up, and there's way too many people in the chat asking about cell phones and who is everybody thinks that they can find them by some kind of app.
Yeah. Well, cell phones don't work underwater.
The Find My Phone app. Oh, of course. Yeah. Not only that, it would work in a enclosed still thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially just... Well, here's how the only way it would have worked is if you turned on a ringer and it was in your phone and it went through the hole and it went maybe in the water somewhere. You know, like...
If they had a static line to it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, inside of it. Like, you know how you bang on the door? Maybe if you could make a loud ringing... or a song really loud onto the metal and would go through the water and one of those devices would have picked it up, right? Something like that. But I mean,
and people keep saying that the Navy uses those little controllers. They do not.
No, hell no.
They use something that's very similar, and it's for the little ROVs that go under the water, not the submarines.
But yeah, the submarines, there's actually like... You know,
a
command center. You know, it's a real thing. It's not like with joysticks. I mean, what happens when the batteries run out?
Some dude bought off of eBay.
Yeah, and those are battery operated. So what happens then? Oh crap! Did you load those other AA's in? Oh shit, we're screwed.
Oh, I know. I'd hate to be the guy on that list.
Maybe they could jerry rig an alkaline battery. Like he brought those instead. Yeah.
Maybe if they're freezing, they're probably doing some cuddling.
Well, I mean, you got to stay warm down
and
there.
And if you're cuddling with another dude, you know you have to be really damn cold. So
probably. Anyways,
but the stuff that's going on down there, that sounds like rich people problems to me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like I would sort of blame you got the company who's selling it like it's some really cool, safe kind of deal, and it's not, you know. So, you know, I feel...
Now, if the dude's not alive or whatever, the government's going to seize all assets associated with that company. Because in the Army, if you break a military vehicle and it's your fault, they're charging you. So they're definitely going to get something. This big, huge search effort. This multinational deal going on.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird situation because, I mean, like a minute ago when I was saying it lost power, but if it lost power, as I think it was Christy up there said, then it probably wouldn't be able to stay pressurized. But the thing is if there really is sound, they say that they really think they heard sounds from it, then it couldn't have been some, immediately catastrophic thing where it just imploded and killed everybody. So then what's lesser than that,
Lesser than that would be banging on it with a big wrench. If that idiot that's in charge of that thing, because if he got too close to something that he shouldn't have been doing and got it stuck, that could be something else too. It could be something from the Titanic.
It could just be that power went out it wasn't a complete system power out loss, but it was certain elements succumbed to pressure. Maybe there was a part of the craft that succumbed to pressure and they lost navigation ability or something like that.
Oh, if they had a pressure loss, that'd be
Well, maybe
red
just
mist.
maybe like in an area, maybe just part of it. You know, I don't know how it all works.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
it,
like something on the outside or something.
Yeah, like some area of it that isn't the cabin, and it just sort of destroyed navigation and maybe communications, but it still had pressurization because, well, I don't know if it works like this. So if your cabin's pressured and it's powered to get there, and let's say the power goes out, does it maintain the pressure that it's at as long as you don't change your, depth?
I have no idea.
Yeah, see, there's weird shit like that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. This is kind of outside of my realm. That's why I'm taking calls and talking to people and try to figure it out, So.
Anything to do with the ocean. My dad steered me clear of that when I was like 4 years old. He made me watch Jaws.
Oh yeah, that.
And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do what Grandpa did.
You know what's weird? You know what? I have one rule, everybody. I don't swim where I'm food for something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go in the ocean because I'm actually food for something. Yeah, that it's not fun. There's never a time when you're swimming in ocean water, free ocean water, where you can't see the bottom, where if you're a rational-minded person, you aren't shitting your pants, okay? You should just be, what in the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? The whole time. Now, in a lake, that's different, okay? That's different. Yeah.
My dad had me so tore up about sharks, I wouldn't even take a bath until I was like 29.
Oh, man, you must have stunk really bad. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Anyways, all right. Well, I'm going to get the other.
All right, you have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Have a good one. See ya.
All right.
Scouting dude. $305. You're on.
How we doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
All right. I wanted to know if you had a chance to check the marinetraffic.com, because it looks like that the ship, the Atalanta, that's carrying the Victor 6000 robot, has just arrived.
Yeah. So is that actually
pretty?
Is it kind of like, is it a free one or is it?
I'm sorry.
Is it a free site? I mean, it's traffic.com.
Yeah. It's a free site, marine.
Okay.
I believe it's marinetraffic.com, and then you just type in Atalanta,
well, I think
and then France, and it shows up.
I think I can just go to the spot because I know where it is.
Okay.
I mean, let's just see.
Yeah. Then you zoom out and you can see it. It looks like it's right on top of the site, which is actually pretty cool.
I wonder if it's right there. This looks like 5 ships in one fishing. No, these are. Let's see.
So yeah, you can zoom out.
Adi. Well, this says Adi in Ansley. That's not it.
It's almost like spelled like Atlanta.
Okay, what's the name of it? The ship again?
It's Atalanta.
Chewbacca?
No, it's like Atlanta with an extra A. Atalanta.
Okay, so just one T then. Atalanta.
2 T's. Atalanta.
Yeah, but I meant the first part.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
And then to Atalanta, and then France. Maybe you could even do it in Google. But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool just to see that thing come across the ocean, and apparently as soon as it parked there, it was ready to. They deployed it.
Yeah, let me try to visually.
Sure, take your time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of should be down here, kind of. They don't have it look. Oh, that was it. I clicked on this one blue ship right where it should be visually, and it's Atalante, France.
Yep, that's the one.
That's funny. What do you do? Just click on it, and there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the map. So if you zoom out, you can actually see where shore is.
Mm-hmm.
But but it seems like it's right. I mean, you would know it better than I would. But it seems like it's actually an interesting kind of spot because it doesn't look like it's right on top of the Titanic wreckage.
It's pretty close.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's pretty close, right? Which is I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, let me tell you, because it actually says it right here. I can type in what it says. So hold on a second. So that boat is at 42.53 or 5936, comma negative 049.1748. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, it's not really. Let's see, 4936. That is interesting. So I'll move it over here for everybody else. So this is where the Titanic is, and
yeah,
it's up. Let me get the miles here. So maybe it's drifted somewhere.
I mean, or maybe like they have to let out so much cable that maybe the ship is.
It's 70 miles away.
That's pretty like minimal, right? All things considered.
Well, maybe it's still heading there. Have we thought of that? Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, I've been looking at it. It just seemed like it was kind of like hanging around the same place. It was hauling ass though before, which is actually really cool. Let
me try it again. Yeah, let me just.
What's that?
Let me try type this in one more time.
Sure.
I wish it would let you. Okay, so you click on that. All right, it's actually 422530. Hold on. I think I was moving the mouse around, so hold on a second. And then this is negative 49.9988. So let's see, maybe it's even closer. Oh yeah, a little bit. So now it's let's see. This one currently is 35 miles away. That's way closer.
I mean, yeah. So like of all the places it could be, and the fact that they heard the noise, part of me feels like they know what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think they're definitely in the area for that reason. Don't you think?
Right, and which is I don't know. It's a little bit of sunshine, I guess, where a lot of clouds were. So which is exciting. I also wanted to share something that I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen them, but there's been a lot of tour groups that have gone through on the same vessel, and I was shocked. So this guy named Alan Estrada, he's a YouTube guy, and he put his whole entire trip up on YouTube, and I was actually shocked to see that when like you imagine this little sub thing going around. This thing just doesn't do like a couple laps around the Titanic and like heads up. It was insane. He actually goes inside of it, which I don't think a lot of people know.
Inside of the Titanic?
Yeah. So he takes that little sub thing and he's weaving in and out of it. So, which kind of changes. I mean, for me, that changed a lot because I just thought they just just did like a lap or two around the outside.
Yeah, there's probably people that go inside and maybe go. Can you go down the hallways and shit? I mean, that'd be pretty weird.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah, but I'm like, once you're doing that, and I know they had those like inflatable things, those buoys or whatever, and I'm like, if those things go up and you're stuck in there, I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be a pretty crazy story, but it sort of made me kind of imagine what they might be going for. I don't know what the prevailing theories are, but thought it'd be interesting to share.
Yeah, Well, hey, I appreciate it. That was cool information. I'll definitely have to keep this site. So thanks for that too.
Yeah, let's keep that Victor 6000 info flowing. I think that's like the what everyone's hanging on to.
I don't know. What's that?
So that ship is carrying the Victor 6000, which is like the robot that can go down 20,000 feet or something like that, and it has like the arms that can like break things open, and it has a cable that they say is attached to it. And
oh, nice.
So that came all the way from France. All right, I'm gonna let you go.
That's pretty sweet.
Thanks. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you. All right. Have a good night.
You too, bye. Well, that was pretty interesting. Let me definitely gonna save this site here. Put it right there. There we go. Isn't that weird? I mean, all the mapping stuff, my visual, like I just was like, oh, there it is, right there. It's just bam. Adelante. You can see it there. It's got all kinds of crap on it. Alright, let me get this next one. 603, you're on. Hello? Hello? 603. Hello? 774, you're on. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Who's
that? Oh,
that?
you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, who's
that? Corey from Massachusetts.
Oh my God, Corey from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not talking about
talk.
yeah, different case though. It's not even really even
That's
a case. It's just sort of a kind of an ongoing dramatic event, really. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I changed jobs, so my hours are different. So I'm not really up at night now, so it's tough for me to get in on these call-ins. But I've been paying close attention to this story since I saw it first pop up. I just wanted to say, I don't know if another caller already said this. They probably did, because it's kind of like common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But most people know that deep in the ocean, it takes time at each like pressurization level. As you're coming up, you have to spend a certain amount of time in each pressure zone in order for the pressure inside the sub to equalize, and so that it doesn't it has really adverse effects and it can kill you. Like let's say if they found the sub right now, if they just yank that thing up in a half hour, I'm pretty sure that could have lethal effects on any survivors inside. And so the sad thing about this story is, I was thinking this yesterday, with the oxygen dwindling, and they say it's like, what, up to 96 hours? So they could have had 60 hours by the time everybody started looking. Who knows? Because it's up to 96 hours. It's not guaranteed 96 hours. And even had they located the sub yesterday, the process, the amount of time that it would take, like even if the people inside were alive, I just feel like it's already such a desperate situation that I'm not sure if they were alive when they found it, even if this happened yesterday, that they would be alive by the time they got it to the surface and were able to repressurize it and get oxygen in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they didn't keep banging, then something probably really bad happened, or they lost their oxygen a lot quicker than they thought.
I don't know. I've been kind of hesitant to associate the banging with that it's them in the sub, only because the first few reports that I saw, they said when the noises that it was like an aircraft that picked it up on the sonar, right? And they forwarded that data to the Navy. And one of the first news stories I saw said that the Navy reports that they believed that the noises that were heard were an implosion. And I never heard that again. I only heard that yesterday once during one news broadcast. So I'm not sure how valid that is.
An implosion, huh?
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that didn't sound... Well, you know, I guess we never really heard it, but they said sounds. But, I mean, an implosion way after they went missing, and then they... That seems kind of like, what are the odds of that? Like, way after they went missing, they put these buoys in, and then they hear a sound of an implosion. Wouldn't the implosion have happened at the hour and 45-minute mark when nobody was really looking for them?
I guess it would depend on if and when they lost power, you know, what failure there was on the sub in order for it to either get stuck or not be able to surface. Because they could have been down there for a day and a half and then lost power. I guess I saw a video of them actually making the, I forget what it's called, but it's like carbon fiber. I don't know if that's the hull, but it's like, it's a carbon fiber cylinder, and then they fit round, you know, thing on the front, thing on the back on, and they like basically glue it on with this crazy strong adhesive. And supposedly it's like, until you've tested it, you don't really know how long that hull can last in so much pressure. I mean, it's I'm not sure if it's guaranteed up to a certain amount of pressure, but supposedly because it's made by that carbon fiber, when you're that deep at that pressure, instead of it, you know, cracking in one spot, it shatters like a plate. It just explodes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's.
I mean, so you don't put any weight on. I mean, the Canadian that press conference we listened to, they said that they heard sounds, they believe, from the ship. I mean, the submersible.
Is that today?
Yeah. Yep. Today. They said that
I wasn't able to watch.
They said that there's a lot of sounds that are made out there, but their listeners are able to discern the difference. And so they were.
The thing
able,
that I would say, I'm not an expert, so they're probably right. I'm probably wrong. If they believe that that's human-made noise, then sure, like I would believe them, not me. I'm a truck driver. But I remember.
Hey, you're a truck driver. Hold on a second. Uh-oh, watch out, everybody. Watch out. Where is that thing? All right.
Where's mine?
Yeah.
I can't find mine.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, sweet. There you
So,
go. A real one.
Yeah. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the only thing I would warn against is another story I paid close attention to a while back was the Malaysia Airlines flight that went missing. And they believed that was somewhere in the ocean. And they kept saying the same thing, that they were hearing noises that could be banging or whatever. Because when they first said that they heard these noises, they just called them noises. And then when the media was talking about it, they were saying banging. And then later on, I think today it was verified that someone from the actual search team said banging and not just noises. So I don't know.
Well, there was audio that was released that I really don't have any faith in, but it's claiming to be the audio. We played that at the beginning of the show. It's like it does sound like somebody banging on the side of something, but I put that like a 5% chance of being real. That audio.
It would be wild to me if that banging is occurring every half hour, and if it's another thing they were saying in the news is that it was SOS, that the banging was Morse code SOS.
Yeah, who's saying that?
But some news broadcast I saw. Yes, I'm not sure which news channel it was.
Man, this has got there's so many stories out there now. Who knows what the hell? I haven't read that once in anything that I have read, that it was banging out SOS.
That's what I saw. I think it was either really early today, and I'm just looking for anything I can find on YouTube to listen to about the sub, and I'm really hoping they find it. Like, it's kind of sad to imagine that after all of our accomplishments where we are today with technology, that we're really still in an infant stage. If we can't find, I mean, I understand it's really, really fast, but if we can't find the sub and rescue these people. It's like, what, you know, how technologically advanced really are we? From the time I was born until now, like, we've supposedly made leaps and bounds.
Well, we haven't done. I think it's more like, yeah, I mean, the ocean. It seems like we're struggling to really make incredible headway. Maybe it's because of the pressures involved, but it seems like other places like space and everything. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it takes a long time. You know, maybe AI will speed things up a little bit. Although I got to admit, AI is wrong sometimes. Like, you do something and you know, oh wow, that's not correct. But it's pretty amazing. Like today, I actually had it write a script for me in Python. That was weird, and it just did it. I mean, it was like good
Chat
Lord.
GPT or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Pretty
That's
wild.
scary.
It is pretty scary. But yeah. So anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm brain empty right now. I really hope they find it, and it's just, there's so many things. There's so many ways that things that could have gone wrong and could be wrong right now in there. I mean, once it lost communication in that first hour and 40 minutes, it could have depressurized, and like, I don't know. It's just really bleak. I really hope they find it though, and maybe they have more oxygen than what they thought. That's all I got, really.
Yeah. Hopefully. But it's running out.
Oh.
Yeah, what?
Last thing. I got a buddy that I work with, a mechanic, and he legit just watched the movie. This guy's like 40, and he just watched the movie Titanic for the first time.
I think somebody in chat just said the same thing. They go, I just watched Titanic. It's so sad. And I was like, right. We know. We've seen it.
Life, though.
Right, but I'm wondering if that was the same thing as a person in the chat. Like, I mean, Cairo's never seen Star Wars, you know? Like, who hasn't seen...
I was born and raised on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, how do you not see...
I had dreams.
Yeah.
My entire childhood, I dreamed that I was in that universe. Like, that was my entire childhood, Star Wars. Toy lightsabers, everything. I just built a Lego BD-1 droid yesterday in my house, and I'm like a full-grown adult now. I love Star Wars. I'm sorry, that was a little rant. It's wild that this guy just watched Titanic, so when this happened, I'm like, hey, I know you just saw Titanic, check out this news story. And then earlier today, he sent me a TikTok where it was like a news article. It was fake. It was reporting like bad news, but it was saying, oh, the submersible found 3 in critical being treated. And I looked at it. It's like posted 12 hours ago. And then I look on my phone and I'm looking up more news, and they still haven't found it according to Google. And I'm like, yeah, don't pay attention to that. I don't know why people get off just making stuff up like that.
Hey, Rezo, whatever your name is, I've already done that. There's map stuff over here. Yeah, I've seen it. All right. Well, hey, buddy, thanks for calling in, and honk that horn one more time for the rest of us. You know?
All right. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, man. Corey from Massachusetts. Hey, have a good one. See you.
Take it easy.
All right, bye. Corey. Yeah, they said, cross out the image of the ship. Okay. Yeah. Go to the right-hand side. Yeah. Choose map, then scroll down on the map display. Okay. Yeah, I just did that. Anyways, here is the where that Atlanta FR is right now. And it's weird because it kind of was moving away as we were talking here. So you zoom in, like this is where it was when we originally started, and then it's over here. So it's gone 1.67 miles from that original location. Let's see where it is now, though.
American Lady Prayer Wave. I'm with you.
So click right there, and it's 42.29007. 907. Then it is 50, then 0402. Okay, so now it's, how far away is it from that original spot? Almost 4 miles. So it's going that way, and Titanic's down here. So I don't know if it's on a mission, like it's tracking something. Don't know. Now there was somebody that called and they hung up right before we got to it. Mm-hmm. Huh? Yeah, so let me goof around with that for a while. Hold on a second. Where is that site? There it is, right there. Oh, now it wants me to. I might actually buy this one. Yeah, if you have the professional version, it looks like you have more options. Oh, I don't remember what I turned on to have that. Weird. So it's this ship all by itself right there. There's nobody really anywhere near it. These ones, though, let's see where they're at. Hold on. Oh, there it is. RMS Titanic. It's a fishing boat. I think that's the last name I would name a boat that I owned. Oh, and this is the Titanic Wreck site right there. Polar Prince is right on it. So there you go. That's the Titanic Wreck site right here. Let's see how close, if that's accurate or not. Hold on. So we'll type in. Actually, can I just copy coordinates? Oh, that's how I should have done that. I knew there would be something like that. So there you go. That is the spot where they said it was a Titanic, and it looks like it's close, but it's not exactly where it's listed online with GPS coordinates, or where those little models are. So it's close. It's right there. Hey, thanks, Eugenie. So welcome to Denture Dialogue. Ava Hawkshaw, Christy Smith, Pisces Life, and Pen 77. So possible countries, military equipment with capability to go. Yeah. We've got the equipment. They seem like they've really been lagging and too slow to get stuff out there. It's almost like immediately when it went missing, within 24 hours, you should have a vessel there ready to drop the deep sea diving submersibles. Thank you, Clarkio. All right, hold on a second. I'll be back in a minute. Listen to your beautiful music. that awesome? Doesn't that music remind you of the Love Boat? A little bit, you know? It's like exciting and new. Right. Okay. Hey, the lines are open. Oh, come on. The Love Boat was great, man. With Lori, or Julie, I mean. Captain Stubing. Isaac, the Gopher. And what was the doctor's name? The Doc. Remember that? Oh, it was the greatest show on TV. Yeah, it did suck. So did Fantasy Island. That sucked too. Okay. But remember how they were both one after another. I'm not gonna. I can't argue that they're good. Zibline. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People are writing the lyrics in there. Look how awesome that is. What did I do last night? Hey, thank you up there to Nona 617 and Lanky Tor. The most unmean person in the world. Alright, well nobody, two people hung up the phones, so I don't know what the deal is there, but... Oh, that one boat's gone. Maybe that's it right there. No? That's Tugs and Special Crafts. It's gone. Oh, there, is that it? Atlantic Bolt Carrier. I think that's a different one there. Atalanta. No? Well, we had it a minute ago. I don't know what this other view that I have on here. I didn't select that. Not that I remember anyway. Alright, anyways. No, I thought oh, was it an E? Okay, well, we'll get to it later. I'll try it again. That's the one. Okay. Alright, let's see where it is now. Yeah, so it's moving away from here. See how it keeps going up and then now it's over here. It's got another almost 7 miles. So does that mean it's leaving, or is it sort of tracking something? Hey, mask time. You sound like an idiot. Sorry about that. The truth is I mean, here's what I will say is I don't know any of the people on board, so I'm looking at this like just trying to, you know, maybe try to figure out what's going on. That's it. I don't like when people. I mean, it's okay if you say to yourself, "Let me empathize and feel like what it would feel like being stuffed in a sardine can below the ocean." Okay, that's cool and everything, but when people start pretending that they are a family member, that level of feeling, then it's something you probably shouldn't follow or even be anywhere near it. Okay, because that means you're like a little too emotional about something. I just try to look at these cases and, you know, the crime cases that we cover and this one right here, just like we did in the Thailand cave disaster. I mean, we just nailed that thing. It was amazing. We figured out exactly how they were even going to get him out before that they even did it. That you would have to use different scuba divers that would lead each one with a mask on the individuals and move from cave to cave and everything. It worked. And what happened, Touched by Brit? What happened? Wow, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened, Touched by Brit? Nothing worse when you just see a wow. You have no idea what it's even referring to. Like, try to put a sentence in there. Wow, just wow. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in here wants there to be something, you know, a good positive outcome here. I don't know them where I would feel like devastated or something. I'm like just trying to put stuff together, you know, map things out, you know, get pieces of information here and there. You know, now we know. Basically, it's pretty simple here. You've got a vessel that went down. It was going to go visit the Titanic, an hour and 45 minutes in. So it wasn't even, I would say it was probably like 1,000 feet down, or 10,000 feet down, or above that even. And it's down there, and it loses contact. And nobody's heard from him since. We also know that even if they had gone to the surface, they wouldn't have been able to open the hatch to get oxygen in there. So there's that. And then they said that they've heard sounds that they believe came from the submersible, but nobody seems to know where that was. That's it. Ah, jeez, Zozo. God, give me a break. That's almost like a joke. Let's see. I hope somebody's not really talking about a giant squid. I mean, give me a break. Yeah, so everybody put out like good vibes for the people on board there. There isn't much time left. In fact, probably 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5. What time is it right now? 8:24, but I think it's 5 hours ahead there. So it's really, let's just say it was 9. It'd be 2 in the morning, so 1:24, and they said it's 6. So 4.5 hours from now. They said it's 6 in the morning, if I remember correctly. But I don't think anybody... Yeah, it has nothing to do with it, Zozo. It's not a giant squid. You sound like one of the conspiratorial wackos. Oh, Jesus. A giant squid. I mean, I actually saw a video where they had a camera down there and you could see one of them. But it wasn't a giant squid, nor was it an orca. I don't think orcas go 10,000 feet down. Now, I'll tell you what, yeah, that's a good point there, Charisma. Now, if we can get that giant squid out here, deep fry it, we could eat for weeks. Yeah, the whole giant squid things have been around for a long time. And I mean all of us could eat for weeks. Where is the ship that France is sending? Well, it's already there. We've already talked about it. It's right here. Yeah, calamari, my wife said in the background. Now she's laughing over there. Zozo provided some humor. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah. Calamari. A giant calamari dish is now the... Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot what it was called when I said deep fried squid. Yeah, I mean, it's an estimate. It's probably the far end of it, right, Adniram? I mean, especially when you have 4 adult males in there. Or 5, actually. Seems like that would use up the oxygen pretty quick. You don't need things that swim? Jesus. Man. Missing out. Nothing better than... I just love, like, raw salmon with rice. Yeah. That's my favorite, just one thing, and then... That's good stuff. Have you ever tried it, Amber? I mean, how do you not eat like a lobster or something? Yeah, I couldn't remember what it's called. Let's see where they're going now. Copy coordinates. And here we go. Where are we now? Looks like it's hasn't moved since the last time I did it. Okay. So that one's saved. And let's see where it goes to the next time. Maybe I'll buy... How much is this thing? It's probably not too much. It's good to have both air and sea. I hardly ever would think of using this one because most of the crimes... Well, almost everything that I cover is on land. So, kind of looks like these 2 ships are on their way out there. What is this one? This is the... Oh, there you go. This vessel is out of coastal AIS range. Okay. What about this one? This vessel is out of coastal AIS range. Well, he's an adult. Yeah. Here's how you cook a trout. You don't eat a trout that you buy from the store. You buy one, you eat one that you catch. You want it to be like between 9 and 12 inches. And what you do is you clean it, then you put butter inside of it, and then you squirt lemon juice all around it. And then you roll it up into tin foil and you put it in the coals of a fire for 10 minutes or so. And then when you pull that sucker out, it tastes better than anything you've ever eaten in your entire life. Hey, thanks, Debbie L. Now, well, I'm using this free site right now. Okay, it has changed. See, there we go again, everybody. It just moved again to this spot right here. Alright, so it's still kind of moving away. I bet it has historical on there too, so you could literally see where it's been. I'm sure on the paid version it would have something like that. How come there's just that one ship there, though? Okay, the Titanic's right there. Oh, the Titanic here and here, they're saying. So let's see how close that wreckage is to the one they have here. Oh, that's pretty good. It's right on top of it. Look at this. Yeah, so it's right on the one down here. So that's really accurate. Sweet. Where is the past track thing that you're talking about? I mean, it's hard to spend a lot of time just sitting here staring and figuring out where to look when you're you know, doing a live show. Okay, click the boat. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's pretty easy. Oh, look at that. Thank you. That's pretty easy to do. So it's just like flight radar, really. Wait, what did that say? Yes, that's where the Titanic is. So it's gone like this. It just went right by it. It never really went over the Titanic site. So I wonder if they're basing it on currents and they're sort of on the outer range of where it would have gone. And they're, I mean, I don't know what other capabilities that ship has other than its, you know, the submersible that it has on it. Yeah, so I just said a minute ago. Potter mouse. I don't know what those lines are. I wish I could get rid of whatever this is. I don't know how that got on there. Oh, these are different routes, I guess. Interesting. If they panic and use the oxygen faster, it could be less, right? I mean, who wouldn't panic? I think I would just be crapping my pants down there. Literally. Well, maybe they can figure out a way to get them some oxygen. Who knows? Yeah, basically they have to find them in the next 2.5 hours, right? Because if they don't, how do they get them to the surface? It'll be sort of like that case that we just talked about earlier with the from 1973, where they had like 10 minutes left. Hey, thanks, Clementine. I mean, maps is kind of what I think are really important. Almost most of the true crime cases that we cover, the mapping is really important. But sometimes it's not meaningful. Like if somebody's murdered in their house, then it's kind of like, well, that's that's where it was. But mapping can, in cases like this, you're just kind of tracking to see what's going on, and who knows where the Atalante is actually, what its mission is here. Is it traveling on the outskirts of where a current might have moved moved the Atlantis or Atlanta? What is it called again? Yeah, Titan. The Atalante's in my brain, so it messed me up. Let's see. Somebody will type in Titan. You know what's going to do it? Zozo. Gray is known as the map man. Yeah. Right. But people always think it's goofy. Like they say, map time, everybody. Mapping is almost one of the most important elements of everything. "33 degrees water." Yep, that's cold. Huh? What are you talking about, Danielle? "This is one of the most bizarre, distress idea I ever heard." I have no idea what that means. Yeah, map time is just so childish sounding. It's right up there with the trigger bunnies. Whew, wow. Even if they are on surface. Right, we said that earlier, Potter Mouse. Yeah, you probably missed it. This really feels like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but the haystack is 10 miles long. This is must be a nightmare. I mean, there aren't a lot of things that are suspended in the ocean just sitting there, so hopefully it's still doing that. Maybe that could help. But man, yeah, why not bring in those nuclear submarines? And you know how they put sonar out there and they're able to detect something. I mean, there's no countermeasures on this submersible, so it's not like, but it's so small, right? It's freaking 22 feet long. It's tiny. It is so little. What a nightmare for those people. Let's see. Yeah, we were showing these a couple minutes ago, but they were off. This vessel's out of coastal AIS range. We already went over these. And it doesn't say what exactly it is. What could you? Hey, random guy. I mean, you know, do you actually use your brain? Because almost every comment you say, it's like it's trying to be almost to the point where it's just like, whew, wow. Right. Yeah. Have you looked up how deep dolphins can swim, random guy? No, I know, but you always do that, random guy. I haven't seen one comment that you made that I went, wow, that's a pretty good thought. I mean, make one of those and I'll give you some credit for something else. Yep, look at that. Still in that same line right there. Yeah, so here's the story of the day, everybody. The $29.99 battery-powered gaming controller used to pilot the lost Titanic. Just 1,200 feet into the trip, the gaming controller ran out of battery juice. He didn't bring any spare batteries, dooming the rest of the people on board. Oh, it doesn't say that. The controller used to pilot the lost Titanic submarine has received hundreds of complaints. Look at that's the best part. So if you go onto Amazon and you type in the controller that he's using, it probably has all these negative comments. The $29.99 battery-powered gaming controller used to pilot the lost Titanic submarine has received hundreds of complaints since launching in 2010 for losing connection constantly and breaking all the time. Let me ask you this. Why did he buy the $29.99 one? How come he didn't buy one that was like $100, a little more stable? Maybe the ones that even vibrate a little bit to make it seem more realistic? Well, I guess you didn't need that part of it, but the lost submersible vessel exploring the Titanic wreckage is piloted by a $29.99 gaming controller that has received hundreds of poor customer reviews online. OceanGate, the company conducting the excursion, revealed that the Titan submersible is navigated by a modified Logitech G. Oh God, it's right in the middle. Logitech G5710. Here, let's see. There it is, right there, huh? Right here. It does have 4, but let's see what one of the down here. Wow, it says this is too. Wow, I honestly don't even know where to begin with this one. Let me start by saying that I'm a huge fan of Logitech and absolutely love every other product that I've ever purchased. That said, I'm a long-time keyboard and mouse PC gamer who also has a PS3, so most of my gamepad can. You know what's weird is nobody cares about all. Like, these people take the opportunity to write novels about something. Just say what you didn't like about it. The initial setup was very easy. Windows 7, da 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 da. This is reviews from. I mean, these are really old too. Like, why not get something newer? This is 10 years old. Strike 3 came when I. Okay, Strike 1. Where's Strike 1? Moving on, I fired up a shooter which has full controller support. I immediately noticed that the dead zones for the analog sticks were horrible, making precise movements extremely difficult. This is partially due to the sticks being overly stiff. That doesn't sound very good. Strike 3 came when I tried to use trigger L2 and R2. Both are rather small and are not rounded or ergonomic in any way. Yeah, okay, what else do these people? Absolute garbage. Do not get. You've been warned. Oh, it's warned. Terrible connection. Trash. Wireless issues. Absolutely terrible product. Worst of all, the unit will work fine for perhaps 15 or 20 minutes. Not an hour and 45 though, huh? At which point it decided to behave in a flaky manner. I'm sitting 2 to 3 feet away from the receiver, which should be plenty of distance. My PlayStation controller allows me to be tens of feet away. I will be playing some game, and then all of a sudden it will lag and lurch to the point of frustration. Hey guys, I don't know how much longer we got on here, but if you guys want to help support the channel, make it one of those good nights in here, great nights, that'd be absolutely awesome. We've had 2 really big super chats in here, but if you subtracted those out, wasn't that really great beyond that? So thank you guys. This is funny, but not funny at all. Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, why not buy like this one? I mean, hell, that would be, I'd have more respect for you over here if you had the this one with a steering wheel and everything. Yeah. What is like a 2-star? Those are probably usually more realistic. The product would have been great except for one flaw. It permanently malfunctioned today. The error that I received is low battery malfunction, which makes the controller unrecognizable wirelessly by the PC. I handle my controllers carefully, and this product still malfunctioned. I tried 8 different batteries, 4 brand new batteries, and 4 rechargeable batteries, and still the problem persists. When the controller did work, it worked great and fits the hands good with no noticeable lag when playing games. In closing, as this product is a little bit expensive, really? Well, maybe before it was, it's $29 now, it's probably $80 before, something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't know what you're referring to there, non-ex-eco, whatever the hell your name is, but where are you hearing that from? Type it in. Missing Titanic submersible, the health risks facing the crew. The exact whereabouts of the Titanic. It's Titan, of the Titan submersible. I think I made the same mistake yesterday. And the condition of the 5 crew on board are unknown. Dr. Ken Ledez, a hyperbaric medicine expert at Memorial University at St. John's, Newfoundland, has told BBC News that running out of air is not the only danger those on board face. The vessel may have lost electrical power, which is likely to have a role in controlling the amount of oxygen. See, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. But not... Yeah, I mean, we were talking more about the pressure. That's interesting. As the oxygen level falls, the proportion of carbon dioxide being breathed out by the crew will be rising, with potential fatal consequences. As levels of carbon dioxide build up, then it becomes a sedative. It becomes like an anesthetic gas, and you will go to sleep. I mean, that's one thing that's sort of, comforting a little bit. It's not like you're suffering the whole time. You just kind of get sleepy and you go to sleep, and then it's sort of like what we were talking about yesterday. Like if you were in an airplane, wouldn't you want to be put under if it's going to crash? Like those masks that come down should switch over to ether. Who the hell wants to be awake? You know, it's just stupid. And by the way, when you're, relaxed, you tend to live more likely. I mean, it's a little strange how that works, but you ever notice how the drunk person always survives the wrecks because they're just kind of flopping around. So that's it right there. Little hole in the front. See, what about all these other things, right? That's what I'm talking about. There's so many other elements here. It just feels like any one of these things could have broke and then damaged some capacity that the Titan had. Sounds a glimmer of hope in subsurface. What's that mean? News that noises have been picked up in the hunt for missing submersible has offered a glimmer of hope. How come they weren't able to pinpoint where that was off of that sound? It seems like we should have that technology right now. Maybe they were able to get a direction, and that's where these ships have been directed to. Alright, well make sure to hit that like button, you guys. My God. When you go into a show, at least hit the like button. It's pretty simple. What if I don't like it? Then what are you doing here? Okay? Go do something else. So here we go. Hit the like button, hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, hit the like, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Oh, look at that. Sean Pellegrino said I was so mean. What was I doing? Do I deserve to be in prison? Right, it's been there like 3 times more, right? I've always hit the like to avoid hearing that. Well, it never works, does it? Hey, look at there's Baz B. Where the hell have you been, Baz B? If there was a 30-minute interval, it's very unlikely to be anything but human-related. The men on board include, deep-sea experts who spoke to BBC say it's hard to determine what these noises might be without seeing the data. But it is possible they could be short, sharp, relatively high-frequency noises made from within the sub by hitting a hard object against the end of it. Frank Owens from Submarine Institute of Australia says he is confident, based on the information available, the sounds are coming from inside the vessel. So, that's pretty interesting. But have they stopped the pinging every 30 minutes? Right. Of course it would say something like that on the waiver. That's why it's a waiver. God, you guys are so weird. Little smiley faces. Hey, Jesus. But you know, a lot of people don't read waivers. Right, well, they should, right? Isn't it odd that the endless news coverage, no one from Ocean Gate speak? Well, because the owner's not alive anymore. Well, anybody want to call in? We got another 20 minutes or so. Make a certain kind of stupid to go to some places. Waivers don't cover gross negligence. Yeah. How do you know ships are meeting up? Did those ones make it closer? Oh, you have to have more. You have to buy the satellite plans to know what these are. Looks like there might be 3. If that's one there and that's one. 1, 2, 3, and then there's the Atalante. Yeah. Hey, how's your night going? Man, not too bad. Yeah, could, you know, had better ones, I guess. Like they need to know where the ship is before they develop some plan. Yeah, there's 2 different ships right there. Then this one's heading over the Atalante. And then there's 2 other, I think there's 3 more crafts right around here. Anyways, I don't really know what more to talk about, you guys. I mean, really, it's just, at this point, it's kind of a, there's sort of a vigil, just waiting around. Yeah, for some sort of news. Yeah, thanks Lillian and Kimberly. Also earlier, the what is it? Oh, Cash App from Ashley. Thank you so much, Ashley. And also Teresa from Teresa. So thank you. Any last thoughts? Unfortunately, don't have faith. Yeah, I think it's not looking good. You know, there's always hope until they're found, but you know, there's got to be a certain point where you just realize, you know, like tomorrow afternoon probably isn't looking good, right? With the oxygen. And let me just say this, right? Given what we know about how this guy runs his operation, you know, the 96 hours that we've heard, I think it's way more likely that it's way less than 96, given what this guy is all about. Okay, I think it's probably way less than that, because 96 was like, man, you got all, everything's dialed in, you know, you nailed it, you got everything set up correctly, this is awesome, excellent. This guy seems like he cuts corners. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I was thinking, Kyle. like he's a corner cutter and just literally just, you know, whatever works. Like, but I think it's very unlikely that it exceeded beyond the numbers, right? Thanks, John Dunn. Yeah, it seems very unlikely that it's going to exceed the numbers. Maybe it'll be right on the numbers, and hopefully, because then it gives some time, but they're already running out of time. I mean, there's 4 hours left. Yeah, Cameron's been down to like 30-something thousand feet. I was looking at that. That's ridiculous. 34 or something. I mean, almost the record, I think. I mean, it's right there. I'm sure there was a lot of tests done on those submersibles. It's called marinetraffic.com. Yeah, just keeps on moving. I'm not sure why it doesn't show it out here, but maybe this is like today or something. Yeah, there isn't really a lot of ships right out at here. You know, this is the site that it was over. I mean, that's literally the Titanic down here. And, you know, there's nothing just right there like a helicopter would be on land, hovering. No, I don't think they have enough time. Because let's say they're an hour and a half down, right? Well, by the time they found him, it would take an hour and a half for the submersible to get down an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, and then just boom, attach that sucker in like 1 minute, and then somehow, I would imagine the other submersible would then have to. I don't think it could tug it out. It probably attaches something that another ship uses to pull it out. It doesn't feel like it's going to be good news here. I hope they find it. And, you know, until they're found, we don't know if there's by some miracle something happened. All right, that's all we're doing is speculating because we're not part of the search. Right, so that's just total bogus. That's what I was thinking. You know, again, look at WFLA. What are they right now? They're just such a weird news outlet. You know, they're a Florida news outlet, but they seem to jump on every single thing that exists. Every crime, very strange. WFLA. They're kind of a. They liked the Gabby Petito. They got on board and they're like, ooh, wow, this is neat, man. People really want us to be covering everything. I don't know, man. I hate the way that guy talks, man. It just drives me nuts. I'm sure there's people that think that about me too, but is there a decompression requirements for this type of vessel? I don't No. It seems like they would keep the cabin pressurized like it when you're flying, but I don't know what happens when you if you too quickly decompress it. Probably blow up. Is that right? When they're done with the dive, they have to go into the hyperbolic chamber? Yeah, what kind of a crappy trip is that? Yeah. Many are saying that it was just found at the surface in a lot of chats. What do you mean a lot of chats? What does that even mean? But I did not see one live feed. Breaking news, everybody! It's been found floating. Yeah, who knows? Well, that's even worse. Like, how long? Let's just say it does turn out where it was floating on the surface. How long was it floating on the surface? And could the people have lived if they had found it sooner on the surface? And then there's the thing that I was so frustrated about, that you can't even get out of it. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, well, go look it up. Love the ocean, but the deepest it'll go is snorkeling. What does that mean? What if game? Let's see. I see diving like space exploration. They probably knew what they were getting into. They should have. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's all you can say is what if, what if, what if, what if. I mean, it just seems like there's nothing on that thing to just work. But I bet you it didn't surface. If it did, then we got a whole nother story to talk about. All right, here, let's read the Wikipedia just for Zozo here. Here we go, everybody. Here's how a submersible works. Okay? Submersible is a watercraft designed to operate underwater, usually supported by a nearby surface vessel, platform, shore team, or sometimes a larger submarine. The term submersible is often used to differentiate from other underwater vessels known as submarines, which are fully self-sufficient craft capable of independent cruising with its own power supply and air renewal system. In common usage by the general public, however, the word submarine may be used to describe a craft that by the technical definition is actually a submersible, and by standard meaning of the word, all submarines are submersible. Yeah, right. Alright, let's see. So operation, apart from size, the main technical difference between a submersible and a submarine is that submersibles are not fully autonomous and may rely on a support facility or vessel for replenishment of power and breathing gases. Submersibles typically have shorter range and operate primarily underwater, as most have little function at the surface. Some submersibles operate on a tether or umbilical, remaining connected to a tender, a submarine surface vessel or platform. Submersibles have been able to dive over 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles below the surface. Submersibles may be relatively small, hold only a small crew, and have no living facilities. A submersible often has very dexterous mobility provided by propeller crews or pump jets. Let's see. Single atmosphere submersibles have a pressure hull with internal pressure maintained at surface atmosphere pressure. Oh, so then I don't think you would need to be decompressed, right? This requires the hull to be capable of withstanding the ambient hydrostatic pressure from the water outside. I think that's what this is. I think they're supposed to be able to get out, and when they're done, and not have to go through a chamber, because what it is, you know if you ever put an egg in your hand and you can put it in the middle of your hand and squeeze it as hard as you can, and it won't break because it's perfectly. And now if you use your palm or something, you can squish it, but just put it right in the middle of your hand and equally squeeze it. It won't break. And that's sort of like the submersible is built where it can withstand the pressure, allowing you to just live in the same atmosphere that you were at the surface. So that makes it, man, the pressure on that would just be dramatic. Another technology called ambient pressure submersibles maintain the same pressure both inside and outside the vessel. So I don't know if that's what this is or not. The interior is air-filled at a pressure to balance the external pressure, so the hull does not have to withstand a pressure difference. That's pretty interesting. And that's where you need the hyperbolic chambers at the end. A third technology is the wet sub, which refers to a vehicle that may or may not be enclosed, but is either case water flood the interior to underwater breathing equipment is used by the crew. So underwater breathing equipment is used by the crew. During underwater operation, a submersible will generally be neutrally buoyant, but may use positive or negative buoyancy to facilitate a vertical motion. Negative buoyancy may also be useful at times to settle the vessel on the bottom, and positive buoyancy is necessary to float the vessel to the surface. Fine buoyancy adjustments may be made using one or more variable buoyancy pressure vessels as trim tanks, and gross changes of buoyancy at or near the surface may use ambient pressure ballast tanks, which are fully flooded during underwater operations. Right, and at the top you empty them, and then they act as floats. Some submersibles use high-density external ballast, which may be released at depth in an emergency to make the vessel sufficiently buoyant to float back to the surface, even if all power is lost, or to travel faster vertically. Man. Let's see. So this is a deep diving crewed submersible here. Some submersibles have been able to dive to great depths. The Bathscape Trieste was the first to reach the deepest part of the ocean, nearly 11 kilometers or 6.8 miles below the surface at the bottom of the Mariana Trench in 1960. China, with its Jialong project in 2022, was the fifth country to send a person 3,500 meters below sea level, following the U.S., France, Russia, and Japan. On June 22, 2012, the Jialong submersible set a deep diving record for state-owned vessels when the three-person sub descended to 22,844 feet into the Pacific Ocean. Among the most well-known and longest in operation submersibles is the Deep Submergence Research Vessel, which takes three people to depths of 4,500 meters or 14,800 feet. Alvin is owned by the United States Navy. James Cameron made a record-setting crewed submersible dive to the bottom of Challenger Deep, the deepest known point of the Mariana Trench, on March 26, 2012. Cameron's submersible was named Deep Sea Challenger and reached a depth of 10,908 meters or 35,787 feet. I mean, that is ridiculous. I mean, I mean, look at these other guys up here. Ooh, we did 14,800. Man, what in the hell was that? Yeah, let's try it. Let's do a chat GPT. What's it gonna say? What's it gonna say? How do let's see. Do deep sea submersibles. Let's see. How do submersibles work? I've been testing out this thing to see what it is. Looks like they have the same thing. Buoyancy submersibles are designed to be buoyant, meaning they have the ability to float in water. This is achieved by using watertight compartments that displace a volume of water equal to or greater than the weight of the submersible. The buoyancy is controlled by ballast tanks that can be flooded. Propulsion submersibles use various propulsion systems to move through the water. Most modern submarines are powered by electric motors or nuclear reactors. Electric-powered submarines are battery. Well, we're not talking about the submersibles have control surface such as rudders, hydroplanes, and diving planes to control their direction and depth. These surfaces allow the submersible to pitch, roll, and yaw by adjusting the angle of those control surfaces. Life support systems, submersibles that carry human occupants, require life support systems to sustain the crew. These systems provide breathable air, remove carbon dioxide, regulate temperatures and humidity, and provide fresh water. Submersibles are typically equipped with oxygen tanks, air regeneration systems, and air conditioning units to create a habitat or habitable environment for the crew. Instrumentation and communications. Oftentimes, they'll use joysticks that you can buy on Amazon. Oh wait, whoa! I thought they were kidding there. Submersibles are equipped with various instruments and sensors to navigate, detect objects in the water, and communicate with the surface or other submarines. This includes sonar systems for detecting underwater objects, periscopes for surface observation, and communication systems for transmitting. It's important to note that submersibles can vary significantly in their design and purpose. Some are designed for scientific research, exploration, or military. Yeah, okay. Hey, there you go. That was Chat GPT. Anyways, you guys, that's going to do it for me tonight. We seem to have died down in the, trying to nail the goal tonight. So it's been like an hour. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and I don't really have anything else to talk about. It does look like these boats are kind of moving towards each other. What they're doing, we don't know. All right, let's see. What do we got? Thank you to Caligal 3. Then Lori gifted a membership. Teresa Murray. Then Bama Forever with a double cat eye. Katja T. WNC Granny. Mona L. Lisa Murphy. Kami. Piece of Me Forever. So we have Bama Forever and Piece of Me Forever. Danielle. Mark Willis. Lady Lactuca. The Velvet Army. American Lady. Jean Darcy. Then Mark Willis became a member. Aaron. Mag with a double cat eye. AF. American Lady. Eugenie. Kathy Chapin. Eugenie gave away 5 memberships. Guess I could count that in there. Then Clarkio. Nona 617. Lanky Tor. Nona 617. Debbie L. Laconic. And John Dunn. All right, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button on the way out the door. All right, so everybody put some positive vibes out there. Perhaps there'll be some sort of a miracle here, but it seems like they're really kind of, like 3.5 hours remaining of the outer reaches of the oxygen length of time. I can't imagine, again, that a vessel that's so ridiculously, seemingly put together would have anywhere near the maximum amount. You know, he probably skimped on that too. Probably looked both ways, went like this, and took out a few of the oxygen tanks. Because he'll be back in a couple hours. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys very much for being here tonight. We will see you tomorrow. We got to do one more episode of the McStay because that'll put us at strike 3 and then we'll be done. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys very much. Everybody who's supporting the channel. Also, yeah, by hitting the like button, commenting in the chat. Hopefully, you know, you found it mildly interesting with the phone calls, and I thought we had, you know, one good call, really good call. I mean, all of the calls are good, but you know, one showing me where the ships were, and you know, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, well, I try to be funny, the Songbird. That's part of what I do. So, we will see you guys tomorrow. All right. So, you know, maybe we could do a, what are we going to do here? How about we do a, maybe we can do the Parting Glass song and fly around here and just, you know, do Audra Blankenships, and we'll just fly around where this would have been. I think it's just right down in here. Hold on a second. Gotta get the music. It's right over here.
There I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that dare I've had, they are sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that dare I've had, they would wish me one more day to stay. And if it falls into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy
It's Audra.
be with you all.
Audra Blankenship.
Of all the comrades that dare I've had, they are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that dare I've had. They would wish me one more day to stay. And if it falls into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Good night and joy be with you all.
Well, that's it, everybody. That's Audra, Blank Slate, I think she calls herself now. One of the moderators, actually. So, anyways, thank you guys very much for being here. And, you know, I think that is, you know, just an absolute nightmare for all the families and the people, especially the people on board that craft. You know, that's just absolutely horrific. You know, kind of reminds you like of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, you know, that type of thing where it's just like, really? Give me a break. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. I think we just play this music again on the way out.
Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that dare I've had, they are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that dare I've had, they would wish me one more day to stay. And if it falls into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Good night and joy be with